Oddity Files.
Podcast. All things creepy, cryptic, otherworldly.
Guess where we are?
In the dark?
We're in the dark. Finally, we're doing the podcast at nighttime again. And for those of you that are listening, this is Oddity Files, the podcast.
I'm Kitsie Duncan.
And I'm Clayton Abbott. Psych. Just kidding. Reverse that.
Solar flares.
We are a paranormal podcast with a snarky attitude. We tell creepy stories, but kind of make them fun and funny.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to describe us?
You know.
Yeah. So I'm checking it out. I made a write-on wipe-off board of things we should cover during the podcast.
And it's great. I can see it perfectly.
Can see it. Look, we're a real podcast, people.
We have a dry erase board in our studio.
We tell stories, and I have a feeling we might get a few new listeners this week because we have a special guest.
We have a very special guest.
Yes, my brother from another mother, Norman Reedus.
We've known Norman for a hot minute.
Yes, he is literally the big brother I always wanted. And I finally got the balls to ask him to tell me his paranormal story. But first, what's going on in your world, Clayton?
Well, work's been busy, but it's been good. Our house is finally warming up, but it's also warming up outside. So,
did you have to have the house exorcised or whatever they call that with the Catholic Church to take the ghosts away?
No, it just got warmer, and we had people completely come and redo the outside of the house. So if you haven't gone back and listened to a few episodes, there was a point in time where my house was literally below freezing, that the things in the cabinets were actually frozen, and it's been a lot. But yeah, it's on the up and up.
Yay. Well, that's good. Anything spooky though?
No, actually.
Oh, I've got yeah.
Not me personally, but one of my best friends, she texted me, of course, and was like, hey, I've been feeling these really weird things around my house. And she has like a 6-month-old. And she said, I mainly feel them when I'm around her room, which like for a first-time mother or any mother, that's terrifying. And she's like, I've never had these feelings anywhere, like my entire life. And I just feel like there's something there, that her closet door, she always makes sure it's closed. Mm-hmm. But then she'll come in at some point in the day and it'll be slightly cracked.
Ooh.
And I'm like, are you sure like you're checking it that it's latched? Yeah. I'm just trying to, debunk anything I possibly can. And then I'm also like, or she says that she feels, it doesn't feel negative or anything, but when she's leaning over her daughter's crib, that she just swears someone's like leaning with her, like looking.
Oh, it's
like
probably
over her
the baby's
shoulder.
guardian angel.
It could be. That's true.
Yeah.
But she was like, again, I don't get any negative vibes from this. I just, like, what do you think? And she said that they do hear knocking around the house. It's clearly not house settling. It's like a knock. But the house is about 100 years old. That was just recently, like within the past year and a half, completely redone. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
that could have stirred something up. Plus, a new mother, her like senses are heightened around that baby. Yeah. I mean, your overprotective mama bear kicks in, and if something feels off, it's going to feel a little more off than. And this is her first child?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wonder if it's just a family member that's checking in on the baby with her, and especially if she doesn't feel anything negative.
Yeah, she says like she's not afraid or anything. She's just caught off guard a lot because she really feels something.
Yeah. Oh, we know.
But she just doesn't know what it is. I'm like, story of my life.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why we do what we do.
We love it.
So I've had something going on around my house where I look at the floor, look at an area, turn around, look back, and there's a bobby pin there.
Right.
Yes, I actually posted about it on social. So I have this friend who's a witch, and she looked it up, and it could be a curse for somebody's not a curse, a spell, a binding spell over Chris. Like some woman put a spell on me to get to Chris. And first of all, I'm like, well, some of the girls at some of these shows are a little crazy.
But where did the bobby pin come from?
So the bobby pins, Maddie, I guess, wears bobby pins a
Right.
lot.
Yeah.
So it could be Maddie. And I never wear bobby pins.
No,
though.
but in the theory,
Oh, this spell is supposed, when it's been cast, it moves bobby pins around your house.
oh,
Yeah, it's good to know witches. I'm just putting that out there. So she wrote a spell for me and she gave me really specific instructions, and I did it. And you know that fucking funk I've had for 3 months? It's gone.
what? No
Yes.
way.
And this spell that she had me do wasn't specifically for that spell. It could have been any spell that any witch put on anything that has to do with me or my family or anything like that. But I just feel lighter.
Whoa.
I can think straight again. So I'm a little freaked out.
Do I know this person?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you later.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I don't want to
Yeah,
out somebody
Out
that
them.
I don't know if she wants to be outed.
Preach.
But she just messaged me out of the blue. She's like, so your bobby pin situation, here's what I think.
Whoa.
Yes. But I can't tell you the story now. We'll maybe save it
Yeah,
for
yeah,
another
sure.
one once I get clearance from her. But it turned into finding out that she had a spell put on her, and she's going through some really tragic shit right now. She's got friends that relatives are gypsies that are calling the friend out of the blue saying your friend has this witch after her right now. So I'm hoping I can get our friend to let us tell the entire story
Or even
on the
just
show.
Get her on the show.
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
Just
For
call
sure.
and,
Yeah.
that is
So-
crazy.
Yeah, I want to know so much more about Wicca, and because there's good witches, there is, and it's about energy and intentions and like voodoo. Like when we talked to the voodoo lady here in Bloomington, it's just a different religion, is all it is.
So, you know how I said like work's been busy, whatever. So I was sitting at home, and like, I don't really drink coffee. I might every now and then, but we have a,
Keurig.
thank you. We have a Keurig that in the corner of our kitchen. So I was sitting in the
You've
living
got
room.
my spell now.
I have the spell. I just kept wanting to say a Brita. But our kitchen and our living room are like one big area. So I'm sitting there working, and I've been in the living room working for a while. I would say like a couple hours. And all of a sudden, the Keurig turns on and starts like, that sound when it's heating up.
Yeah.
And I literally looked up from my computer and I was like, not right now. I literally looked at the Keurig and I was like, I don't have time for this. Or no, I said, I'm not in the mood for this. That's what I said. I said, I'm just not in the mood for this.
We're at that point in our lives.
Seriously. Like, as long as
like-
it's not throwing like steaming hot water at me.
Yeah.
Just,
It's not time for coffee ghost. Whoever
No.
you are, just turn it the fuck off.
I was like, there wasn't a blip in the power or anything. Why did it just turn on out of the blue? It's not on a timer. Nothing.
That's kind of freaking me out.
Yeah, well.
Well, you
It
just don't
went
have
next door and tried the neighbor after me. They're like, you're just not.
They got a
feeling me
full-on
today."
latte over there. Oh, again, you're listening to Oddity Files. I want you guys to check out our social sites. It's at Oddity Files on Instagram and Twitter. We're on Amazon Prime. We have 6 episodes up there right now. Still working on getting 6 more up for you guys. But definitely add us to your watch list. And once those new episodes are up, you guys will know as soon as we do. Also, I need you to pretty please, with sugar on top, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps us get more listeners. So please, I'll
And
give
get
you a
better
hug.
guests. Like when we're trying to convince people to come on the show, they're like, okay, well, like how many people have listened or reviewed, or what are your ratings like? If you guys give us good ratings, we can get better guests.
Yes, we're already an award-winning podcast.
We are an award-winning podcast.
Thanks, kind of nerdy girls. Oh, so I have a super quick paranormal in the news story.
Ooh, let's hear it.
So apparently, the legendary Loch Ness Monster is making waves once again after the beloved cryptic was spotted in 2 different occasions over the course of just 5 days.
Whoa.
I think Nessie's back. So, yeah, we all know where Loch Ness is. We all know what Nessie is. And
Actually, real quick, I didn't know exactly where Loch Ness was.
I know it's in England somewhere, right? Ireland, Scotland?
Scotland.
Okay.
See, I don't think everyone does know. I was watching the Grand Tour, and they did one like, you know how the backdrop's always a place.
Oh, yeah.
They were on the loch.
I love that show.
I do too. But sorry, I was like, oh, it's in Scotland.
I knew it was in the UK, right? Is that right?
Everyone knows where Loch Ness is.
I just didn't want to
Nebraska,
read the whole story.
Oklahoma octopus.
Thanks, Coast to Coast, for keeping me up to date with my paranormal stories. Oh, while you guys are listening to this, we're on our way to Horror Hound Cincinnati.
For our first live podcast.
Our first fucking live podcast.
And the room, so I didn't realize it's the same room that we did other like work stuff in.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's a small theater.
Right. So 5:00 in the morning, not last night, yesterday. It was yesterday. I woke up with flashbacks of that photo op we did. And I'm like, holy motherfucking fuck balls. That place is huge.
It's a big room.
So hopefully you're listening to this in the morning, and hopefully you're going to, rent a Sprinter van and fill it with people.
Right.
And please bring it to our very first live podcast. I'm scared.
I'm excited.
Oh, I'm excited, but I'm scared.
But just think about it. When you're done, you get to meet Meatloaf.
I do. I'm so excited. And I get to hear the rest of the story I really can't tell you about.
Oh.
So, yay. But yes, it is horrorhoundweekend.com. We are actually on the panel schedule. We are from 6 to 7 p.m. On Friday, which is today. Look at us. So next episode, you'll hear about how I tragically fell down the stairs to, I don't know, do what? Because I fall all the time.
Like introduce us and we have to walk up there and have 12 people clap
Jimmy,
for us?
will you introduce us?
Hell yeah, I'll introduce you.
Just like that.
But you know what I mean?
I don't know. I have no idea what we're getting into. Do you?
Oh, gosh.
I
No.
really don't. I was just like, hey, Trev, can we do this? And he's like, yeah. And we're like, okay, let's tell everybody. And we have no idea what's going on.
Please come. Like I said, I just don't want there to be like 12 people there and us feel so bad for
Everybody in the
ourselves.
front row.
I know. Like,
We're
can you guys spread out?
Now yell really loud so it sounds good for the video, for the episode.
Exactly.
Gosh. Or we're going to have like their staff come in.
Well, they'll all be busy working.
Yeah, same with ours.
Oh my God. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful.
Right. I can't wait. Even if there are only 12 people there, they will get
A big hug.
a free selfie.
Because we'll ever charge for selfies.
They don't know that.
Maybe I should print it. Maybe we should, I should give you the file for the Oddity files. Promo pic, and we can just print those out and hand those out. Oh, we do have 4x6 cards, though, we can
do
hand
hand
out.
out cards.
Yes. I'm getting loud. I'm nervous. I'm scared.
So I was looking up like different types of stories to do that are just a little bit different than the ones that we usually do. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do dragons.
Dragons?
Because like at one point they were cryptid. Now it's like more mythology.
Right.
But like dragons
people believed
have-
in them.
Yeah. And so I started looking into them. Obviously, they're like all these things in science that say dragons weren't real. Like there weren't fire-breathing giant lizards flying around.
Wait, Clayton, are you starting your story?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, continue.
Why?
I was going to say it's Kitsie's turn, but
No.
okay. All right, continue.
But in this, I found that these people found this skull that looks like a dragon skull would look like horns and that shape and everything. It turned out to be a type of dinosaur. Also cool. But guess what they named it that I found hilarious?
Oh, please tell me.
The Dracorex hogwartsia. Yeah. Hogwartsia. Okay. They literally named it after
Bravo on the pronunciation. Pronunciation? Words are hard.
words are hard. Yeah, Dracorex Hogwartsia. Because they're like huge Harry Potter fans.
Schwartzia. I get it now.
Draco.
10
Rex.
seconds later. Oh, and it's
Hogwarts.
Draco.
See ya.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Jimmy's gonna have to edit the fuck out of that whole.
No, I say
nightmare.
we leave it in just as it is.
But I was more
There goes our
intrigued
new
by the
listeners.
Draco Rex than I was the fact that dragons.
Where a crypt was at your stomach.
That's my stomach. Wow.
I thought you had an EVP going on over there. Oh, that's
I think I went first last time. Did I?
Yes, like I just said, it is Kitsie.
because we are leaving that in. He just rolled his eyes at us, Jimmy.
Don't have time for the Keurig or him.
So I am here to tell you all about the legend of the Black-Eyed Kids.
Oh, I was really hoping it was the peas. like a short history of the Black-Eyed Peas.
That'd be awesome. Fergie and, the other guys, because I can only remember Fergie's name. So have you heard of the Black-Eyed Kids? Mm-mm. Oh, they're terrifying. So we're not sure. I think it might be like a whole creepy pasta thing, like Slender Man, where everything got started on the internet. But I have some firsthand stories in here that are kind of insane. But first I'll tell you what the Black-Eyed Kids are. They're kids between the ages of 6 and 16. They walk around with no shoes. They're always in like black clothing or really out of date clothing. The primary story or first reporting of the Black-Eyed Children was in 1996 by Brian Bethel, and he was actually a reporter as well. So 2 boys approach him while sitting in his car. They were dressed in all black clothing, no shoes, and were very docile. And most importantly, their eyes were all black. No whites of the eyes at all, just like contacts.
Alone is terrifying.
Exactly. They said they were in need of help and needed a ride home. Their tone the entire time was very monotone and chill and almost melodic. And Bethel, the guy who these children approached, like immediately felt this gut feeling of just something was off and something terrible was going to happen.
Maybe their eyes are all black.
Well, I don't think he saw the eyes first off, but as they were approaching the car, he just felt this sense of dread. No. And that's actually a reoccurring thing in all the stories about these things. But he still rolled down the window and told them no. And this is where shit gets weird. They became more and more insistent that they needed a ride. They're like, "Mister, we need a ride." You can kind of picture it in your head. With no emotion or feeling, just saying over and over again that he needs to let them in the car because they need a ride. Bethel eventually takes off, leaving the kids behind. And after the incident, Bethel posted his story on a paranormal message board online, and he quickly realized he was not alone in having gone through this terrifying experience.
What?
Which is weird because it's making its debut in, well, I guess the internet was still kind of new in 1996, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it is.
I don't know. It's 5.
No, numbers are hard. So there's 10 things that most of these stories have in common. A few things most reportings have in common about the Black-Eyed Children. No. At first I thought I had 10 things, and then I changed it to a few things. So words are hard. Black-Eyed Kids will look like normal human children between the ages of 6 and 16 with really, really pale skin and completely black eyes. People who've been in close proximity to the Black-Eyed Kids report a feeling of unease that washes over them. While nothing about the children's appearance, aside from the eyes, is genuinely frightening, they still reported feeling this raging form of anxiety to terror at their presence. So just being anywhere near them. Black-Eyed Kids are also commonly described as wearing dated clothing or dressing in a manner that is not typical of a normal child of their age. Black-Eyed Children always ask for something. It is always something that involves being in closed quarters with you. They'll ask you for a ride in your vehicle or to enter your home to use their phone. Theories about the Black-Eyed Children are that they're vampires, aliens, or of demonic origin. Nobody really knows what they are. I've got a couple super creepy firsthand experiences, and I found these on thoughtcatalog.com. So the first one is on March 17th, 2008. This is the reader's Big Taco 123 is the reader, the submitter's name.
Come on, Big Taco.
Yeah, right. I had my one and only encounter with a black-eyed kid. Before my experience, I had never heard of anything having to do with the black-eyed kids. I was 12. I was sitting outside of a hairdresser's in an old Chevy pickup truck waiting for my mom to get her hair cut. About 15 minutes had passed, and I saw some kid walking back and forth along the sidewalk in front of the parked car. At first, I thought I recognized him as one of my friends from school, so I banged on the front windshield until he looked away. It was not anyone I knew. At this point, I was not scared at all, not yet. The boy walked over to the side of my car and just stares. I think to let me get a good look in his eyes to freak me out. Let me tell you, if you've never seen a black-eyed kid, you have no idea what to imagine. Pupils black as the night sky. The boy whispers, "You must let me in." And then I locked the car doors and ducked down into the space below the seats. She was 12. I'd have done it at 48. 5 minutes later, he was gone. When Big Taco, boy, girl, let's say she, boy.
Oh.
Okay. When my mother got into the car, she told me a boy with black eyes had come into the hairdresser's, had insisted for my mother to give him the keys to the car.
Oh my gosh.
Right. She refused. Thank God she did. Nuts.
I would punt these things.
I know.
Or
They're
just
terrifying.
run them over.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to another story here. The first thing, this is from Hammer Hands. I don't know where these were found, but these are the usernames that are attached to these stories. The first thing that should have tipped me off to the particularity, say that 10 times fast, of the situation was the fact that someone was knocking at 6 a.m. in the morning on my front door. The second thing that should have dawned on me is that the kid had to reach over a rather tall patio gate to unlatch it, to open it. The knock at the door was startling. My wife and I were getting ready for work. Pretty normal routine. The moment I opened the door, I was overtaken with an inexplicable sense of fear. To this day, I can picture the teenager. Average height, average build, knee-length black leather coat, short black hair, and sunglasses. The sunglasses at 6 a.m. struck me as odd, and even more odd, he was eating an apple. He was very polite and asked if he could come in to warm up. I said no, and I closed the door and slid the security chain into place. A moment later, another knock. I opened the now chained door, and before I could speak, he asked again if he could come in to warm up. I screamed no and attempted to close the door. Before the door could shut, he put his hand out, stopping the door on its hinges. He looked directly into my eyes, still wearing his sunglasses, and said, "Can I at least get some ketchup for my apple?" I responded, "Fuck that." I reply, albeit a little confused, "Get the hell out of here. My wife is calling the police." He takes a moment to let this information sink in, lowers his glasses, revealing his eyes as black as obsidian, and says, "No, you won't be calling anybody." At that moment, I force the door closed. I lock it. I call out to my wife. She's scared shitless, hiding in the bathroom, all jacked up on adrenaline. I rip the curtains back to look out the window. Next to the door, he's gone. Absolutely no trace of him. I go out to the patio, check the gate. It's still latched from the inside. That was fucked up, I think to myself. And as I turn to enter the house, I notice a half-eaten apple laying on the ground.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I've got a couple really good ones here. I don't want to, they're long. So I'm going to find the next best one. Now, one of them, I'm going to read two more. So one of them is a survivor story, which those are very, very few and far between. So I'm walking up my flight of steps to get to my apartment, and I hear these kids laughing, and then I hear whispering. It was kind of late, so I thought this was weird, but I ignored it and walked into my apartment. I live on the 3rd floor. I was getting ready to open my balcony door. It was really muggy in my apartment.
No.
I
don't like where this is going.
You shouldn't. I walk over to the door. and pull my blinds, and 2 kids are fucking staring back at
No,
me.
see, I knew that was going to happen.
I screamed and backed away, smashing my leg into the table. They were both in blue jeans, and the oldest, he was taller, had on a green shirt with white stripes, and the younger had on a button-up light shirt. So that kind of takes away the all dressed in black thing. The oldest one touched the sliding door. He said, "Hey, miss, can you let us in?" How fucking terrifying.
No.
I know.
Coda would be losing her absolute mind.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Trixie, could you
I know.
imagine? The younger one just kept looking around. She just kept staring at them. And finally, she was able to say, "How did you get on my balcony?" Yeah. Balcony. I walked to the door and noticed how excited the older one got as he moved closer to the entrance. "Can you let us in?" I wasn't thinking. I unlocked the door, and when I looked up, their eyes, you guys, their eyes were black, the entire eye. I quick locked the door and told him I had to call the police because my door was jammed and I could. Good thinking, girl.
No kidding.
So I called the police, and the oldest boy pleaded with me the entire time to let him in. The police arrived about an hour ago. They came in, they walked to the balcony, and when they opened my balcony door, nothing was there. They looked down and saw 2 children. They were running in the parking lot away from the building. I'm getting goosebumps, and I've already read this. The police took a report and said they had to have had help getting up there and that they would question the neighbors. I'm freaking out. I'm crying. I don't want to stay here, but then again, I don't feel safe going outside right now. And that was by Cutie PA2T. I don't know what that means. It seems awful trendy for me. Aren't these things terrifying?
They're terrifying, and I don't want to look up a picture of them.
Oh, but
can
you
only
should.
imagine. But, however, side note, if you guys are listening and you have Instagram, our fantastic producer, DJ Jimmy, goes through on Instagram and puts up stories with like visual aids for every episode with time stamps and all that stuff. So if you're also saying like, I wonder what a Draco Rex looks like, or I wonder what black-eyed children look like, head over to our Instagram. Sorry, continue.
No, that's fine. And he keeps them in the whatchamajiggers called?
Stories.
It's the stories, but it's
Archives.
Highlighted. Highlight story? In the
Everything's
highlights,
different.
yeah. So if you're catching up on older episodes and you still want to look at that kind of stuff, it's all up there. So I have the survival story. And it's by Psychotic Land Shark. Psychotic Land Shark. I got it. Anyway. I helped them once. Never, ever, under any circumstance, do it. I'm not sure what they do, but it feels as if they are ripping your soul out. They get really close to you, and you get amazingly drowsy. If it weren't for my girlfriend showing up mid, quote-unquote, invasion and kicking them out, I probably would be dead. I didn't even see the black eyes until I had let them in. They're getting smarter. Oh, that wasn't Psychotic Land Shark. I have 2 survivor stories.
Okay.
That was by Pyric Lancaster. So Psychotic Land Shark says, so a month ago, my friend was taking me, start over. So a month ago, my friend was talking to me about these creepy ass kids that were hanging around his house. He seemed scared, like he was about to shit his pants, and he doesn't scare easily. I love the way these guys write on wherever they're writing these things. It's so like real life. He said they always wanted to use his phone and wanted to come in, but he always said no. A week ago, he told me he was going to let them in, and I really didn't even think twice about it. But he's been missing ever since. What? I've gone over to his house, but it's empty. His cell phone number isn't going through. Does anyone know what happened to him? 70 question marks. I've heard about black-eyed kids just now, and I don't know what they do. Is he alive? Please help. I'm seriously freaked the fuck out. Psychotic Land Shark.
Whoa.
So
I don't like these things.
they're terrifying. That's why I wanted to know more about them. I want to know if they're real or fake or... So if they're real,
What are they?
what do the 2 of you think they are? I mean, your choices are like alien hybrids, vampires,
But that's
demons.
the thing. Like, I'm with you. What category do these little terrors fall in?
Yeah. They're not cryptids. They're not.
But are they?
I don't know.
What if they're like shapeshifters?
That's a thought as well, is that they're shapeshifters. Those things.
She's on her first can of rosé.
Like 3 sips in. I should probably drink more. But they're terrifying.
They're terrifying.
And I hate people anyway. And I hate kids that aren't mine. Not true, but sometimes. But I don't want to trust any child now,
No.
for sure.
No, but also if a little kid came up and was like, "Can I come in?" First off, honestly, even if it didn't have black eyes, I'd be like, "No."
Well, there was another story that I apparently forgot to put in here. But it was like Halloween night, and 2 kids came up and they're like, "Can we use your phone to call our mom?"
Oh.
And seriously, though, I would have been like, "Oh, sure."
And then you're missing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Super crazy.
I can't believe you hadn't heard of them.
Never heard of that. Are they like are all those stories in different areas? And
Yeah.
different, just like,
Everywhere.
whoa.
I mean, I think all of these are stateside, but hey, if anybody's in the UK or Canada or anywhere, drop us a line. Let us know if you've had an experience or a friend's had an experience with black-eyed kids, because I kind of want to know more about it,
I would love to know more.
especially a reliable source, because I'm teetering.
I know.
Is this made up?
I know. Big taco.
Big taco, or,
Psychotic land shark.
Psycho tick land shark. God, I'm such an idiot.
That's very cool. My story, it apparently has this huge history that I knew nothing about. I've never heard of it, but it's a haunted object.
Okay.
So you probably know what it is. But it's one of the most haunted objects in the world.
What? I've got to know about it then.
It's called The Hands Resist Him.
No.
Perfect.
You get so excited.
I know, right?
I watch
Especially
way
with
too
haunted
much
objects
TV.
because you just like, that's your shit.
Oh, and I've just been to Zach Bagans Haunted Museum, and I thought I've seen them all.
No, it's not like a doll or a tribal artifact like Kitsie.
Yep, she's sitting behind you. You
I
better
know.
say it right.
Well, try not to insult her. But it's actually a painting that an artist, Bill Stoneham, painted in 1974, resembling a photo of himself at age 5. However,
Oh, I
what
may
Bill
have heard of
Stoneham
this.
painted is a sinister piece that has been associated with 3 deaths since its creation. In the year 2000, the painting was first put up for sale on eBay. The painting received massive amounts of publicity and traffic early on because of the title, The Hands Resist Him, and the publisher claimed that the painting was haunted.
Ooh.
So the eBay seller claimed that they found a painting in an abandoned brewery and began noticing strange occurrences from then on out. At first glance, the painting is definitely eerie to look at. So not even knowing that it's haunted, if you look at it, it looks a little creepy.
Well,
So the painting is a child with a depressed look as he stands next to a doll with hollow eyes. The doll in itself is fucking creepy. But what makes it more scary is that they're like standing up in front of like a window or like double doors with glass. And it's like a very black. So imagine them like standing in front of 2 doors with like glass panes.
okay.
And it's all black inside, but you see like hands pressed up against the glass, or like floating hands, or some sort of hands.
Any kind of hands.
Right, there's hands. A lot of questions.
Yeah.
So strange events plagued the family that bought the painting after they brought it home.
Okay.
Not long after having it, the youngest daughter reported the figures moving by themselves in the painting.
What?
Look at my legs. I have goosebumps.
Where can I buy this painting
It's
for
like-
you, Clayton?
Yes, she was a young child, but what made it more eerie was how she described it changing. The young girl said that she said that the children in the painting would become very violent with each other, and the doll would threaten the boy with the object that she holds in her hands. And it,
Oh, so she'd hear them talking too.
yes, it would turn into like a Harry Potter painting. So, in an attempt to show that the painting was not haunted or supernatural in any way, the parents set up a motion-activated camera in front of it.
Okay.
and they soon realized the girl wasn't so crazy. So
What?
the camera doesn't catch them like fighting or anything that she said, but the battery that the doll has in its hands, the longer you look at it, it kind of looks more like a gun. And
What?
the colors of the painting change, and yeah, the seller of the painting highlighted the beliefs that the painting was cursed. And listen at what this is like the eBay description.
Okay.
Warning, do not bid on this painting if you are susceptible to stress-related disease, parenthesis, or if you are, in parenthesis, faint of heart or are unfamiliar with supernatural events. By bidding on this painting, you agree to release the owners of all liability in relation to the sale or any events happening after the sale that might be contributed to this painting. The painting may not possess supernatural powers that could impact or change your life. However, by bidding, you agree to exclusively bid on the value of the artwork with disregard to the last two photos in the auction, and hold owners armless in regard to them and their impact expressed or implied. So they're saying like, some shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not our fault.
And we told you, so there's nothing you
Right.
can do about it.
So
Covering their
disclaimer-
asses.
Right. And they included it with good reason. So in the early 70s, Bill Stonham put this painting in an art gallery.
Okay.
Not long after it was put on display, the art critic who studied this painting mysteriously died.
What?
Yeah. Not only did he die, but the owner of the art gallery also died. It's like, is that coincidence?
Oh my God.
John Marley, he's a famous actor in the 70s. He was in Godfather. He actually purchased this painting.
Oh.
He reported strange occurrences during the night leading up to his death in 1984. Yeah.
He died too.
Yep. So from there, the painting was lost. After he died, and like
Probably
all
ended
of
up in
his stuff,
some storage unit somewhere.
or maybe an abandoned brewery. Oh. So the Hands Resist Him is one of the most haunted paintings in the world. Well, the phenomenon experience isn't groundbreaking or any it's still weird. So
Right.
since the painting has been on display at the Perception Gallery in Grand Rapids, Michigan, many people have reported strange occurrences when coming into contact with it, from splitting headaches to thoughts of suicide, violence, and strange coincidences. Many have been affected by the painting in some way.
And so it's not just that the art's bad, that, it's causing these feelings.
Right. It's not
Okay.
like, oh, it's terrible. No.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Where in Michigan?
Grand Rapids.
Oh, wow.
Kitsie, can I see it?
Yes. Oh, I've not seen
But get
that
closer.
before.
Do you see the hands in the glass? In the black?
Oh, my God.
Wait, does the doll have all black eyes? It's a black-eyed child.
Black-eyed kid.
Kid.
Oh, my gosh.
It is a blue.
Wow. Honestly, the second I looked at it, I got goosebumps. And
Yeah.
it's not a hideous painting.
Well,
or
there-
a really good painting either.
No, but I read a lot of articles where it's like people who are really interested in the story, they'll look at it and like study it and get like cramps in their stomach, or it's weird. I don't know.
Wow. That's nuts. Would
Yeah.
you ever purchase a haunted painting?
No.
Well, you got a birthday coming up. I'm just putting that out there.
And we're going to keep this shit at your house.
No. I just cleansed my house of all the spells and all the bad shit.
Well, then
That's
let's keep the painting in Michigan.
That's a crazy story. So is it just on display, or are they trying to sell it?
I don't know. It just said that it's on display at Perception Gallery.
I wonder if
Grand
they'd let us
Rapids.
investigate it. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know that I want to, though.
Not if we're going to die.
Yeah. Maybe it's just if you own it, you die.
No, the art critic who just he
That's
studied
true.
it. And then the gallery owner, he died.
Yeah. How is everybody else not dying, though?
I don't know.
Maybe it just picks out certain people. It just does
Well,
not
listen, it's
fucking
probably
like.
about our time, so.
Well, yeah, let's not go. Actually, speaking of haunted stuff, I noticed on Twitter this week, Zach Bagans bought another haunted piece for his haunted museum. It's Gretchen, the doll. He bought it off eBay. I wish I had his money. It causes the owners to experience the owner. People who buy it will experience her crying loudly, moving by herself, causing pictures Pictures to Fall Off the Wall. She was made in the 20s in England. Zach Baggins should buy that painting.
He should.
There you go. Zach, Michigan.
He would.
If he knew about it, he would own it.
You're so right.
Yeah. I envy his collection. But he's got a place to put it. It's not like in his house.
Right.
Yeah. Let's open a museum so we can buy shit like that.
Anyways, keep going.
That was a great story, though. Were you done, or did I just interrupt you?
I'm done.
Okay. That's awesome. How'd you come across it? Just...
Well, I was like, I haven't done an object in a while because I did, what's his name? The doll?
Robert.
Robert the doll.
That was our
very
first episode.
Yeah. And I was like, I really haven't done an object since.
No, you haven't.
So I was like, haunted object, Google search.
No, it's...
And it came up number 1. And I was like...
And I've never seen it
over
before.
Annabelle and the Dybbuk box and all this shit.
Huh.
And I was like, the hands resist him. What is that a story?
A book?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the name of the painting.
I love it. That was actually really cool. And I love how you're trying so hard to surprise me with something I've not...
Well, it's hard when all you do is like listen to other podcasts and read stories and watch
No.
Mysteries at the Museum.
It's my favorite jam, Mysteries at the Museum. Not going to lie.
So we have, as if you've been following us on any form of social, something really exciting.
We do.
I'll let you go from here.
So I've known, actually, this is kind of all coming full circle that we're going to Horror Hound today. And
Wow. Yeah.
I met Norman at Horror Hound X amount of years ago because I can't remember because I'm old and numbers are hard. And Norman is, I mean, my kids called him Uncle Norman when they were younger. He literally is the cool older brother I always wanted and never had. And I was honestly a little nervous to ask him to record this interview we're about to play. But we've had paranormal in common for so long. And how long has he been talking about, I want to go on a ghost hunt with you guys. I want to go on a ghost hunt.
He's wanted to investigate forever.
Yeah. And it will happen eventually.
It will.
But I reached out. I said, hey, Clayton and I have this podcast. Do you have a paranormal story? He's like, I'll call you tomorrow when the baby's napping. So here's that interview.
Yeah, totally. I had a weird thing happen to me when I was in Prague doing Blade 2. And it was kind of spooky, and I got advice from the camera crew. It was and it kind of worked. Their advice worked.
Oh, nice. What
Yeah.
happened?
Okay, so I the first couple of days I stayed in a hotel when I was in Prague. We were there for 6 months. It was my first time to Prague, and there's a real estate lady that was working with the production on getting me an apartment.
Okay.
So she finds an apartment. It's about, the 4th day of shooting, and I was shooting late. So I had the keys, and the driver took me to the apartment, and I get there, and there's this old building, and it's maybe like 4 a.m. when I get there.
Okay.
And it has, it's right on top of the Moldau, right on top of the river facing it. And I get into this building, and there's this old elevator. There's like this sort of fenced-in elevator in the middle of the building. And so I hit the buttons, and it creeps up to the top floor. And I get there, and I can, and this was a crazy old building. It had like huge, like 5-foot gargoyles around the patio. Yeah, overlooking the river.
It sounds very Norman.
It was cool as shit, I won't lie. But so, I finally get up there, and the way that the room was set up, the apartment, there's another little apartment attached to these little stairs that go over to the left that also overlook the river. But the main part of the apartment, it goes in a circle.
Oh.
Like kind of a square, actually. And the bedroom's to the far right. The kitchen is way ahead of me, blah, blah, blah. But you walk in this square, and at every corner of the square was these really intricate stained glass doors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, metal and stained glass doors. And so I go in there, really late at night, and I'm kind of looking around the apartment, and there's no drafts or anything in this building, or at least in this part of the apartment. No windows were open, anything. And I'm kind of sitting there, kind of checking it all out, and there's these, big chairs, intricate sort of medieval chairs everywhere and stuff. As I walk through the apartment, every corner of those squares where the glass doors are, they slam behind me as I'm walking. So I take about 5 steps, boom, the one right behind me, and shatters.
No, get out.
Oh, it gets better. Then I go to the second corner, and I'm going around, and there's the kitchen that side. Boom, the door slams behind me. All 4 of those doors slammed shut behind me, right?
Oh, my God.
And I'm freaking out. And I got into bed, this big bed, and the realtor's number was right next to the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, it's like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting there with the blanket up over my nose, like just with my eyes wide open, like, where the hell am I? And I wake up the next morning, and I call the number. The first thing I do before I even get out of bed, I reach over, I call the number, and I said, "Whose apartment was this?" And she goes, "Oh, what happened?" Right? And she tells me that there's, stories that happen in this apartment, and that the apartment belonged to a guy named Bertrand Smetana, and Smetana. And Bertrand was like the Mozart of the Czech Republic, and he used to play on a harpsichord.
Oh, wow.
Those ting, tingy, ting, ting, tingy, ting pianos,
Yeah.
And I looked him up, and he was like, he was like heavy metal on a harpsichord. It was
shit.
The most intense, like heavy music. And the story was that he would sit in his apartment, compose music, and look out over the Moldau, over the river, and there was a tower on the other side directly across from him. And his wife was in that tower. It was a hospital for syphilis patients.
Oh, shit.
And he would write music and look at the tower where his wife was, where she died of syphilis, and he would compose this crazy stuff. So our DP on that movie, he passed away, but he was like a really well-known DP. He told me what I needed to do was I needed to put out a little glass of whiskey and acknowledge that it's his apartment, and that he would eventually leave me alone. So what I did was I did that. I made a little offering, and then I started playing his music all the time in the apartment, and it went away. But it was the craziest night, and I could just feel something was in that apartment. It was heavy, whatever it was. Yeah. The next week of shooting, it just kind of died down. But I not only played his music, I actually I liked it. I was getting into it. Yeah, it was cool. But he kind of let me alone. I kind of made peace with it, I guess. But
That's
it was
a great story.
Crazy, right? You should look him up. Bertrand.
I will.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, I appreciate you telling us your creepy stories. Is that like the most prominent one, or like the only one you've ever had?
I guess I've had like little things here and there, but like when I was a kid, I used to have dreams that I was flying over the neighborhood, and I would like at night and stuff, and zipping in and out of telephone wires and stuff, and I had before gone to a neighbor and I was like, oh, I had this dream that you were sitting out there playing with your bike last night. And she was like, I was playing with my bike last night. And then so like little things like that when I was a kid. And my mom would tell me that that was me like floating around in my dream state and stuff like that.
Like astral projection or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah. But I could feel myself. I could feel the tension of like pulling up and pulling to the left, and I'd wake up and I could feel it, in my neck. But little stuff like that. But maybe like a little thing here and there. But that's definitely the biggest one.
Whoa.
Right.
I know. So I intentionally didn't listen to it so that I could like be genuine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the brand new news.
But you know what the moral of this story Norman is telling us?
What's that?
We need to bring alcohol on all investigations.
Oh, hell.
To offer it up to the spirits, and I think any angry spirits will take care of him. But the love story of this guy writing this music longingly looking where his wife. Oh, it's a beautiful story.
It is. And seriously, you don't know how much this means to us, Norman, that you got on here, you did this, and we look forward to a lot more years of
Oh, God, yes.
working together.
You're not stopping yet, mister. Remember, we're going to be 90 years old with canes doing this photo op shit. But seriously, thank you so much. I was so nervous to ask you. I didn't want to put you out, but I love having you on the show, and we will go ghost hunting.
But if there's anyone out there that you guys maybe know of that has a ghost story, tweet us, send us an Instagram message or anything like that. And we'd love to try to get a hold of them and see if we can get them on the show.
Yes, absolutely. And we've got more people lined up to get interviews with, and I'm super excited for you guys to hear all of that.
I know. I'm so excited.
So excited.
You know what we need to do, though?
What?
Go get ready for tonight.
We do. It's okay. Everybody, please come so we're not staring at nobody. Head over to oddityfiles.com. We've got new merch, podcast t-shirts.
We
Pretty
do.
stoked about that. Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Check us out on social at Oddity Files. We have a Facebook fan group. We have a Facebook group.
And
which
if
is
you're
Oddity Files.
Sorry.
You're good.
If you're listening after today, we're sorry you didn't come.
Yeah, exactly.
You
We're just
missed
kind of
out.
stoked. Can you tell?
You missed out.
Yeah, but thanks, guys, if you are coming out, thanks, guys, for being there. And we really appreciate it. And we love you. We adore you. Send us your paranormal stories at oddityfilescrew@gmail.com. And don't forget, weird is the new cool.
Sometimes.
Always. Always. Always.